I've highlighted some articles and videos that use keywords from our past content. These are short, simple, and easy to understand even without much context. I hope this helps expand your English expression.
Review and different perspective. Reading practice. For speaking. Read silently or aloud, as if you were telling it to someone else. Articles and essays are read aloud and paused after each chunk or sentence, giving you time to read and understand the meaning before moving on. The video does not stop, so pause it where you want to practice phrases or any parts that interest you. In hindsight. In hindsight. Understanding something after it happened. Looking back at the past with what you know now and understanding things better. An actress talks about growing up with learning disabilities. She says it was challenging, but helped her focus on her strengths. She learned to concentrate on what she was good at, which helped her succeed in life and her career.
That are so relevant for all of us as creatives. So let's take it back. Let's travel back in time.
Okay.
Most people know you for your knockout performances like in Jurassic World and Help and so many other things that you've done. But what most people probably don't know is that you grew up with a learning disability.
Yes, a few, actually. Yes.
Can you tell us about?
Yes, yeah, it was looking back on it, obviously it was like no fun sort of as it was happening. But looking back on it, I realized that it really it was a wonderful gift in a lot of ways, because in getting diagnosed with learning disabilities, in the going through school in a way that I actually loved school. I love my teachers. I love my friends, but it was very, very, very challenging for me. And it was always a struggle to keep up. And the only way that I was able to keep up was getting very clear about what my strengths were. And so in hindsight, it was fantastic because people aren't strong at everything. Like they shouldn't be, because we all need our specialized things that we can do, like what, that special gift that only you have.
Yeah.
And I think just going through all of that, I realized, okay, I'm very good at one thing. I'm pretty good at 4 or 5 things, and that's how I'm going to live my life. And it's been really wonderful.
What exactly were your learning disabilities?
Yeah, totally. So, so basically the way it all evolved was,
Now, you've got a basic idea. Here are some shorter sentences to help you understand it better.
So beautifully illustrated this incredible contrast.
I didn't know it at the time, but in hindsight, I see the difference in mindsets. And it's a Basically, I spoke at an education summit for Microsoft and Apple.
39.
All right. Now, it has been 22 days since the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I'm sure you're very familiar with it. How does this experience feel in hindsight?
Great. I was maybe too nice.
And what was your favorite joke?
I liked all of them, but...
There is here. As you watch the following videos, you'll gradually get a sense of this word.
Normal. Now, the truth is it doesn't show the things that this MRI shows, right? There's a lot more fluid in the fourth ventricle here than there is here. There's a lot more fluid here than there is here. But for this young woman, there wasn't as much fluid here as she needed. And
But because there is no weathering on the moon like there is here on Earth,
Created by Universal Orlando Resort. I grew up in Mexico, and back home there really isn't a big presence of theme parks like there is here. Having the opportunity to come to Orlando and experience the theme parks here, I was really drawn to the storytelling aspect of it. I was fascinated by how the attractions could tell a story in such detailed manner. So I went
in relationship to their education. We had at Smith lots of safety nets. If a student didn't come to class for a second class in a row, the dean's office found out. So we caught students early on when they started to get into trouble. Now I realize this is much easier when it's a small community and there's a student-faculty ratio of 10 to 1 and not 26 to 1 as there is here. But I think it's so important to think about those best practices in advising and figure out which ones will scale, which ones can we use technology to help us achieve, because I think advising is just critical, particularly when we have a student body, as Smith certainly did, with students with very different levels of preparation for the college experience. So advising for me is a very high priority, and I want to partner with you in trying to figure out how we can make our advising even better for our students than it currently is. Obviously, we have lots of challenges that we face: increasing enrollment, understaffing in the area of advising. But I think we need to think smart and figure out whether there are technological
Not want to have to.
The truth is, I can stand alone, grow alone, be alone. But I do not want to have to. Healing is a process. I did not want to have to experience again.
There's just no way. Get used to discomfort.
You have to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. That's how you win as an entrepreneur. There's just no way around it. When you're in this business, you have to put out video content. And in the beginning, that can feel pretty uncomfortable. Well, get over it. Nobody's a natural at this. Getting comfortable in front of the camera is like training a muscle.
My son with Down syndrome has changed my perspective on life.
I never could have imagined what life would look like with a child with Down syndrome. I never could have imagined it. Because I had never seen it. Almost everything I knew about Down syndrome were misconceptions. Stereotypes, myths. Boy, has my view changed. If there is one thing that I've learned, it's that every individual with Down syndrome is just that, an individual. Each one affected differently by the extra 21st chromosome. And there's just no way to predict exactly what their life will look like. Hudson is not only living his best life, but he has changed the way everyone in our family lives theirs. In the best possible way. I'm not saying there aren't challenges. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't wish I could change the world for him. That I could change the way others view him. But the joy and love that he has brought over these past 3 years is immeasurable. His smiles are literally the best part of our day. I have no doubt that he was destined to show others how beautiful a life with Down syndrome can be. Including me. And now I know. Do you?
Not thinking anything of it. Childhood passion became career. Even though I didn't study anything creative, my passion for making videos led me to work on big projects. If you love something, you can achieve it, no matter where you start.
"12-year-old me wouldn't believe it. When I was at school, I used to go down to the skate park with my iPod. And I would film stuff. Making content. Not thinking anything of it. It's just something that came naturally to me. I never studied anything creative at school. I couldn't draw. I wasn't into media studies. I liked my maths and physics. But there was something about creating videos. That hooked me. And I knew I wanted to do just that. Those 12 lines above that you just read. Were exactly what went through my head last week. While I was creating content for 660's social media. How the fuck did I end up here? It was a pretty cool moment. I just stood back. Gave myself a little nod and a smile. And thought, man, the 12-year-old Connor would have to see it to believe it. It just shows that it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter if you're not creative on paper. If you're passionate about something, go get it.
Thanks for watching. I hope this helps your learning English.